Have you ever felt this way? You have an idea that keeps you awake at night, $1 million idea. You can see it clear as day. The app, the business, the novel, the life. You've sketched the logo on a napkin. You've told your friends, just you wait. You imagine the freedom, the respect, the feeling of I built this. But then, the morning comes. The alarm rings. The sheer scale of the work hits you. The first step feels like scaling a mountain. So you hit snooze. You say, I'll start after this cup of coffee. That coffee turns into, I need to do more research. That research turns into a 3-hour YouTube spiral. That spiral turns into a gaming session, a binge watch, a social media scroll. Suddenly, it's midnight. Your dream is still a dream. Your ambition is still just a spark. And the ugly, heavy blanket of laziness, which you disguise as burnout or planning, has smothered it for one more day. If you have ever been an architect of a brilliant future, but a lazy builder in the present, then this story is for you. And it might just give you the blueprints you've been ignoring. In the vibrant, tech-fueled heart of Austin, Texas, lived a young man named Alex. At 28, Alex was the poster child of potential. He was smart, wickedly smart. He'd graduated with honors and had charisma to spare. He'd worked for 3 years at a major tech firm, a job he quit 6 months ago to chase his real calling. His apartment, 12B, was a shrine to this potential. One entire wall was a massive whiteboard covered with flowcharts, user journey maps, and wireframes for his revolutionary app, Momentum. Momentum was designed to be the ultimate anti-procrastination tool. It was ironic. Alex loved the idea of being a founder. He loved the coffee shop meetings, the title CEO on his non-existent business cards, and the late-night brainstorming sessions, which were mostly him watching interviews with successful entrepreneurs. He talked a great game. Dude, Momentum isn't just an app, it's a movement. It's going to redefine productivity. We're talking gamification, AI-driven goal setting, social accountability. It's going to be huge. I'm just, architecting the foundation. Can't rush genius. Mark, his older brother, in Houston, would sigh. He was the opposite of Alex. Mark was a doer. His life was a testament to if-then statements and completed code. Alex, he would say, his voice patient but firm, architecting is great, but at some point you have to pour the concrete. It's been 6 months. Your foundation is still just a dirt hole. Tomorrow, man, big day tomorrow. I'm diving deep. But tomorrow never came. Alex's days were a blur of comfortable avoidance. He'd wake up at 10 a.m., make an elaborate pour-over coffee, and sit at his expensive standing desk. He'd open his code editor, then his email, then a tech blog, then Reddit just for 5 minutes. By 2 p.m., he'd be on the couch, controller in hand, deep into a video game, telling himself he was clearing his head for the real work that night. The whiteboard on his wall, once a symbol of creation, was now a fossil. The ink was dry. His ambition was calcifying. The first tremor came on a Tuesday. Alex was scrolling through LinkedIn, his favorite form of productive procrastination. He was networking. He saw a post from Sarah Jennings. Sarah had been his cubicle mate at the old job. They shared the same complaints, the same dreams of escaping the 9-to-5. But Sarah, unlike Alex, was quiet. She didn't talk about her big idea. She just worked on it. Her post was simple. Thrilled to announce I'm going full-time on my new venture, Flow State. The beta is live. Alex's blood went cold. He clicked the link. Flow state. It was his idea. Not exactly, but close. Terrifyingly close. A productivity app. Clean interface, smart reminders. A surge of adrenaline, pure, uncut panic shot through him. She's doing it. She's actually doing it. This was the fire he needed. He leapt from the couch, spilling stale coffee. He ran to his desk, cracked his knuckles, and for the first time in months, he coded. He coded with a fury. He worked for 10 straight hours, fueled by fear and jealousy. He fixed bugs, built a new feature, and felt the exhilarating rush of actual progress. At 3 a.m., he leaned back, exhausted, but alive. I'm back. I'm still in this race. He set his alarm for 7 a.m. Tomorrow, I continue the fight. When the alarm rang, he slapped it off. Okay, 8 a.m., I earned a little rest. 8 a.m. became 9 a.m. He woke up sore, his brain fuzzy. He thought, I made so much progress yesterday. I can afford to ease into it today. I'll just plan my next steps. Planning became researching flow state. He saw it was getting good reviews. He felt a pang of despair. She's too far ahead, a voice whispered. What's the point? By noon, he was back on the couch. The fire was out. The laziness, the apathy had returned. And this time, it brought friends, doubt, and self-pity. The one-day sprint had just been that, a sprint. And now he was gassed, watching his rival pull further and further ahead from the sidelines. A week later, Mark drove in from Houston. He hadn't told Alex he was coming. He used his spare key and found Alex at 1 p.m. on a Thursday, curtains drawn, illuminated only by the glow of the TV. The apartment was a mess. Takeout boxes littered the floor. Deep dive, huh? Mark said. Alex jumped, scrambling for the remote. Mark, what's up? I was just taking a mental health day. Mark didn't get angry. He looked sad. He walked past Alex to the whiteboard. He ran a finger over the dry, 6-month-old diagrams. Momentum, he read aloud. You know, Alex, momentum requires movement. This is stagnation. I hit a wall, Alex said, his voice defensive. It's not as easy as you think. And this other app, Flow State, she stole my concept. She didn't steal your concept, Alex, Mark said, his voice dangerously quiet. She executed hers. You don't own an idea, especially one you do nothing with. You own code. You own action. He walked to the sliding glass door, pulled it open, and let the bright, unforgiving Texas sun flood the room. Alex shielded his eyes. I brought you something, Mark said. He went back outside and returned with 2 pots. He placed the first one on Alex's clean but unused desk. It was a stunning, delicate bonsai tree. Its tiny branches were twisted into a beautiful, deliberate shape. This, Mark said, is ambition. It's a juniper bonsai. It's a work of art, but it's work. It needs to be pruned every few days. It needs direct sunlight for at least 4 hours. It needs its soil checked daily. Too much water, it rots. Too little, it dies. You have to care for it deliberately and consistently, or it will turn to a dead stick in a month. But if you do, it will grow into a living masterpiece. Alex looked at the intricate tree. It was beautiful, but it sounded exhausting. Then, Mark placed the second pot on the floor in a dark corner of the room. This plant was ugly. It was a tangle of cheap, aggressive, fast-growing ivy. This, Mark said, gesturing to the pot, is later. You know this stuff. You can neglect it. It loves the dark. It needs almost no water. It will grow without you even thinking about it. It's easy. Alex looked confused. So, you bought me a weed? I bought you a choice, Mark said. This ivy will grow, Alex. That's its nature. It will creep out of that pot and it will crawl up your walls. It will find its way to your desk, and if you let it, it will wrap itself around your bonsai and strangle it to death. It will do this while you're taking a break or clearing your head. Mark walked to the door and paused. Your life, your app, is this room. You have both of these seeds inside you. We all do. But your future depends entirely on which one you choose to water. Mark left. The silence in the apartment was deafening, broken only by the sound of the video game Alex had forgotten to pause. The metaphor was so sharp, so brutal, that it worked. For 2 weeks, Alex was a new man. He woke up at 6 a.m. His first act wasn't to check his phone. It was to care for the bonsai. He'd take it to the balcony, check the soil, and give it water. He'd prune a tiny leaf. This small act of discipline, this watering of ambition, set the tone for his day. He coded. He cleaned his apartment. He ate healthy food. He ignored the ivy in the corner. Momentum was finally, actually, gaining momentum. He built the user login system in the core feature. He felt proud. The bonsai looked healthy, its green needles vibrant. Then he hit a wall, a real wall. A database connection bug, a problem so complex and frustrating that he spent 3 solid days on it and got nowhere. He was stuck. The code mocked him. "I can't solve this," he muttered, leaning back, his head pounding. "I just need a break. Just one night off. I'll play for 2 hours, reset my brain, and hit it fresh tomorrow." He turned on the console. 2 hours became 6. He went to bed at 4 a.m., feeling greasy and defeated. He woke up at 11 a.m., his disciplined morning ritual shattered. He looked at the bonsai on his desk and felt a pang of guilt. It's fine. I'll water it in a bit. He sat down to code, but the bug was still there, waiting for him, looking even more impossible. The frustration returned, instantly. "You know what?" he said, pushing away from the desk. "I'm just not in the right headspace. I'll go to the gym, clear my head." He didn't go to the gym. He went to a bar. Days bled into a week into 2. Alex stopped looking at his code editor. He stopped looking at his whiteboard. And most painfully, he stopped looking at the bonsai. He couldn't bear the guilt. One evening, 3 weeks after his last productive day, he was on the couch when something caught his eye. A flash of green. He looked down. A tendril of the ivy from the dark corner had creeped silently all the way across the carpet. It was halfway under the couch. Alex stared at it. That stuff really grows fast. He got up to get a beer. "I'll trim it back tomorrow." But tomorrow was a lie. And the ivy, unlike his ambition, didn't need his permission or his effort. It just grew. It thrived on his neglect. It was the physical manifestation of his apathy. While Alex slept, it grew. While he played games, it grew. While he scrolled through Sarah's flow state updates with a mix of envy and bitterness, the ivy grew. It crawled up the leg of his desk. It slithered across the surface, past his silent keyboard, past his dark monitors. And it found the bonsai. The rock bottom wasn't a moment. It was an email. It was from a tech conference. We're sorry to inform you that your application for the Founders Spotlight Showcase has been denied, as the project appears to be inactive. He'd applied 3 months ago, full of hope. He'd forgotten all about it. The rejection was a minor sting. The real blow was at the bottom of the email. We are, however, thrilled to announce our keynote speaker for the showcase, Sarah Jennings, CEO of the breakout success Flow State, which just closed a $2.5 million seed round. The room started to spin. $2.5 million. Alex felt a sickness rise in his throat. It wasn't just jealousy, it was a profound, soul-crushing grief. It was the sound of a door he didn't even know he was standing in front of, slamming shut and locking from the other side. He stood up, his legs shaking. He walked to his desk, his eyes blurry. He looked at the bonsai. It was dead. It was a dry, brown, brittle skeleton. But it wasn't just dead. It was consumed. The ivy had completely enveloped it. Thick, vibrant green tendrils were wrapped around the bonsai's dead trunk, choking it, using it as a trellis to climb higher, reaching for the light it hadn't even earned. The ivy was healthy, it was strong, it was thriving. It had crawled across his entire workspace, a living monument to his failure. Alex sank to his knees. He touched the brittle branch of the bonsai. It snapped and fell to the desk. He didn't just see a dead plant. He saw his app. He saw his future. He saw the last 6 months of his life. He saw himself, a dead piece of wood, strangled by the comfortable, easy, relentless grip of his own laziness. He put his head on his desk next to the murdered tree, and for the first time since he was a child, he wept. He couldn't sleep. The image of the ivy strangling the tree was burned into his mind. He sat in the dark, the apartment silent, the city lights mocking him. He thought of Sarah, not with envy, but with a terrible, clarifying respect. She'd done it. She'd watered her ambition. He had watered his apathy, and it had grown into a monster. A cold rage, different from his earlier flash of panic, began to build. It was a rage directed at only one person. At 4 a.m., before the sun rose, Alex woke up. He didn't go to his computer. He went to the kitchen and got a pair of shears and a box of trash bags. He started with the ivy. He grabbed the first tendril. It was tough, rubbery. He pulled. It held on, ripping a patch of paint from his wall. It hurt to remove. He didn't care. For 2 hours, he was a man possessed. He ripped and tore and cut. His hands bled. Sweat poured down his face. This wasn't just gardening. It was an exorcism. Each tendril he tore from the wall felt like reclaiming a wasted day. Each vine he shoved into the bag was a broken promise, a tomorrow that never came. He got to the desk.
He untangled the ivy from the dead bonsai with a grim tenderness. He held the dead tree in his hand. "I'm sorry," he whispered. He put the dead bonsai, the pot, the soil, and every last scrap of the ivy into a trash bag. He didn't just throw it in the corner. He carried the heavy bags down 12 flights of stairs, the elevator was too easy, and threw them in the dumpster behind the building. He went back upstairs. He looked at his trashed apartment, his bleeding hands. He wasn't done. He grabbed his Xbox and all his games. He put them in a box. He carried it down to the dumpster. He gathered the tower of takeout boxes down to the dumpster. He went to his computer. He uninstalled his social media apps. He installed a website blocker. He walked to his whiteboard. He stared at the momentum diagrams. He picked up an eraser, and with one long, slow wipe, he erased it all. The entire wall. He was left with a blank white slate and a quiet, empty, clean room. He sat at his desk. He opened his code editor. He looked at the bug that had defeated him, and he started to work.
He worked all day. He didn't solve the bug, but he didn't stop. He ate a simple sandwich at his desk. He drank water. When his eyes burned, he stood up, stretched for 5 minutes, and sat back down. He finally found the bug at 1:15 a.m. It was a stupid, simple semicolon he'd missed. He laughed, a real, actual laugh. He hadn't been defeated by a mountain. He'd been defeated by a semicolon, by his refusal to just sit and look. He knew momentum was dead. Flow state had won that race. But as he'd worked, a new idea, a better idea, had formed. A smaller, sharper, more focused tool that did one thing flow state did poorly. He deleted the Momentum Project folder. He created a new one. He named it Rhythm. He worked for a week in a state of pure, disciplined focus. That weekend, Mark called. "I saw the news about Sarah," he said gently. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine," Alex said. His voice was different, calmer. I heard what I said about the plants was pretty harsh. I'm sorry." "You were right," Alex cut him off. "The bonsai's dead, the ivy is gone." There was a pause. "What's Rhythm?" Mark asked. "It's my new project. It's not a movement. It's just a tool. And I'm going to finish it." Mark smiled on the other end of the line. "Okay, Alex, okay. How's the empty pot?" "It's empty. I'm just focused on the code." "Good," Mark said. "Keep building." 2 days later, a package arrived. It was a new bonsai, a tiny starter plant, no bigger than his fist. The note had 2 words: "Water this." Alex placed it on his desk, right next to his monitor. The next 6 months were not a movie montage. They were a grind. They were mornings Alex woke up and begged himself to stay in bed, but he got up and he watered the bonsai. There were nights he wanted to quit, but he stayed and fixed one more bug. They were lonely. He lost touch with the friends who only wanted to party. He cooked his own meals. He saved his money. He built Rhythm. He coded the front end, the back end, the database. He wrote the marketing copy. He did it all. The bonsai grew. It was slow. Sometimes a leaf would turn yellow and he'd have to figure out why. Too much sun, not enough water. He learned its patterns. He learned his own. 1 year after he'd quit his job, Alex launched Rhythm. There was no press release, no seed round. He just posted it on Product Hunt and a few subreddits. He made a simple website. Then, terrified, he closed his laptop and went for a long walk. When he came back, he had an email. Subject: "You saved me."
It was from a freelance designer. "I've been drowning in flow state. It's too much. Your app, Rhythm, is simple, it works, and it gets out of the way. I've done more work today than I have all week. Thank you. I paid for the pro version." He checked his dashboard. $10. Then another sale, and another. By the end of the week, he had made $1,000. It wasn't 2.5 million. It wasn't fame, but it was real. It was his. It was built. Mark came to visit that weekend. The apartment was clean. The whiteboard was covered in new active diagrams for Rhythm 2.0. And on the desk, the bonsai was green, healthy, and beautifully shaped, growing right beside the humming computer. He picked it up. "You became a gardener, Alex." Alex looked at his screen, at the list of paying customers. "No," Alex said, a small smile playing on his lips. "I just learned how to pull weeds."
Alex's story isn't just about code. It's about that universal, painful space between a dream and the discipline it takes to build it. Every single one of us is given a room to live in, and inside that room we have two pots. One holds the Bonsai of Ambition. It's beautiful, delicate, and holds the pattern of your greatest self, but it requires daily, deliberate, focused care. You must choose to water it. You must protect it. The other holds the ivy of later. It's easy. It's comfortable. It asks nothing of you, and it'll grow all by itself. It thrives in the dark, feeds on your neglect, and promises comfort, but it will, without question, crawl across your life and strangle your ambition to death while you're busy clearing your head. So, if you are ambitious but lazy, if you are an architect with no calluses on your hands, remember Alex's room. Do not wait for tomorrow. Do not wait for inspiration. Start today. Go to your desk, pick up your tool, do the work. It will be hard. Your hands will hurt. You will want to quit. Do it anyway. Water your ambition and pull out the weeds. Because the longer you wait, the faster the ivy grows, and the more your dream will die.